We're going live.
No. We'll do it live.
Okay.
This is the Come On Man podcast. And here's your host, Paul Bauer.
Good morning, everybody. It's Friday. Woo! I was running a couple of seconds late there because I've started going live on Instagram before going live over on YouTube, because I learned that watching Rolo and Mike Sartain, they do that before doing Access Vegas. I'm like, oh, there must be something to that. So, and before I get too far into this, ladies, none of you could be first, but all of you could be next. Imagine taking one of these mugs into work. Take one of these mugs into work and have the women go, "What does that mean?" And you're just like, you know exactly what that means. Oh. All right. Good morning, guys. Good morning. It's Friday. We are live. Join me for these every Wednesday and Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time. But if you can't make it, that's what the replays are for. Also, if there's any problems with my audio, sound off in the comments. I appreciate that. Hey, good morning, Claudio. Claudio is I pronounced that right? It's Claudio. Yeah, I think I got that right. We're going to meet up next week, and we're going to record something. It's going to be spectacular. Spectacular. Let's start off with some housekeeping here, guys, and then we'll get into the topic at hand. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit those notifications. Drop a comment. Any comment will do. If you guys are watching right now, sound off in the live chat. That helps this go by a lot smoother. It's nice conversing with you guys. I am now uploading these to my audio platform when I'm done with this. So if you are listening on audio, please give us a 5-star review. It helps us more than you know. Be sure to follow me on social media. I'm on all the good platforms. The links are in the description. Consider joining the Patreon, patreon.com/comeonmanpod. You can join for as little as $10. You get all of Monday's main episodes ad-free, so just the interview portion. You also get them a couple of days early because I post those episodes for my Patreon members on Friday afternoons. So you get them early and you get them without ads. And then if you want any kind of coaching or whatever, then you can join at tier 2 or tier 3. And that's where I handle my coaching, depending on what your needs are. So check that out. Another way you can support the show is by sending a super chat. You can send a super chat for as little as, I think $1. And that really helps support the show as well. Get on the email list.comeonmanpod.com, and I will send you some free stickers. And if you like these designs, they're also available as mugs too. In my Teespring store down below on YouTube, you can get one of those as a mug, or they're also available as t-shirts and hoodies and stuff too. But if you could find that at merch.comeonmanpod.com. And then if you guys haven't done so already, check out my practical law of attraction course. It's practical because it's chick crack free. A big thing is, a lot of guys have heard of the law of attraction. Most people were exposed to it through the movie The Secret. But the movie The Secret was really just, I liked the movie, but it was really sort of made to be like it's this magic genie granting wishes. that's not how any of this works. You can use this for all areas of your life, right? So for instance, let's say that you want to be a millionaire. Let's just say you want to be a millionaire. Not everybody wants to be, and that's fine. But let's say you're like, I am going to be an entrepreneur and I'm going to be a millionaire. Well, if you follow the steps in this course, that will be a reality for you. And the reason why, it's not because it's magic and a genie's granting wishes and raining money on you and stuff like that. What happens is when you really focus your mind on something, what happens is your mind is like a supercomputer and it just starts grinding away at this problem. So, if you give your mind $1 million problem, it will come up with $1 million solution. And some of the stuff that I teach in this program will show you how to get your mind grinding on this stuff 24/7, even while you're sleeping. And what will happen is you'll start getting these inspired ideas. You'll be in the shower and like you'll just get this idea to do something or check on something or look something up, or maybe you should, file for an LLC or so, whatever. You'll get these inspired ideas, and the important thing is that when you get these ideas, you act on them. And when you act on them, you'll find that you are slowly going down the path to the destination where you want to go. So it's not magic. It's not magic. It's all psychology. And that's how I break it down in my course. And, a lot of you guys follow me for the women. So I'm going to bring this TikTok up. Hold on one second. I didn't have this ready. We want a video file. We're going to bring this TikTok up that I made. Actually, it's a clip from Monday's episode, this upcoming Monday's episode, but I turned it into a TikTok. So let's watch that real quick, and then we'll talk about getting the old snip. If I just think about, we tend to bring about. Our reality is largely created by our mindset, by what we think about. And what we focus on the most in life, we tend to sort of attract. We sort of get what we focus on in life, right? So there's a lot of guys out there that are like, oh, all these women out here suck. There's no good women out there. Well, if your mindset says that, that's going to be a reality. You're so focused on the bad women out there, that's all you're ever going to see. It's called your reticular activating system. So how do you fix that? You change your mindset. What you start doing is you start focusing on the types of women you actually want in your life, the types of women you want to attract in life. You focus on that so hard, you engage that reticular activating system. And what you'll find is you'll start seeing all these women out here that check all your boxes. And it's not that the women weren't there before. It's that you just weren't aware of them before. This course will show you how to become hyper aware of the types of women you want to find in your life. So if that's been your struggle, check out the course today. Yeah, this course, there's a reason why I made this course like the first course that I made. It's because it works in all areas of your life, not just relationships, not just with money. You could do this, use this for health as well. I had Glenn Lawrence on. He's my guest for Monday's episode this week. And he went through the course and he talks about it in that podcast episode. So if you want a review of it, like go check out that episode because he talks about it. But he really liked it because he's an actor. And one of the things that he has to do for acting in order to get ready for a role is really just put himself in the shoes of that character and really change his mindset to the mindset of the character. So he really liked it for acting because he's like, dude, everything that you talk about in this course, like I can use it for acting, right? Like if I want to act a certain way, if I want to do things a certain way, I have to change my mindset about it. And this course will help with that too. So check it out. All right. We're not talking about law of attraction today, guys. We are talking about getting the old snip. I think it was Dante that asked me to do an episode on the old snip. Hey, good morning. What's up, Rudy? We're talking about getting the old snip today. Yeah. So you're thinking about getting the old snip. So I wanted one. As soon as I got divorced. This was back in 2014 is when the divorce was finalized. And I already have 2 kids. Didn't want it anymore, And I was like, I realized getting back out in the dating circuit, like, oh crap, like this is a possibility. I could have like a condom break. I could have some kind of accident. I could have, there's some crazy chicks out there that will, fish the condom out of the trash can and will self-inseminate. Like it's crazy out there. So I was like, I don't want that to happen. And as a man, once like Rollo talks about this, once your sperm leaves your body, like, you're responsible for it. You're responsible for it. Women don't have to be responsible. They can go get an abortion or whatever. But you have no choice. You have no choice as a man. So you have to protect yourself as best as possible. So when I got divorced, I wanted to make sure that I was protected and I wasn't going to accidentally knock somebody up. But I got derailed because I ended up getting into a relationship with red pill chick, and she already had her tubes tied. So I wasn't really incentivized to, to get the old snip because I didn't have to. I didn't have to worry about it. She had her tubes tied. And then my ex-wife, the reason why I never did that after my daughter was born was my ex-wife used to use an IUD. So I was never really worried about it with either of those relationships. But 2019 found myself back on the dating circuit. A lot of you guys know that story. If you guys don't know my story, go back a couple of weeks ago. I did a live stream on my Batman origin story. I break all of this stuff down. Got yours coming up. Yeah. All right, man. I'm gonna tell you about some stuff that you're gonna be in store for. Yeah. Isn't the old snip another feminist shit test? I mean, I'll get into that a little bit. I mean, there are feminists out there that are like men should go get vasectomies by default, and then we don't have to worry about the abortion thing, right? Which is dumb. Like it's just another way for women not to have to take responsibility for anything. But it's a bad idea, and I'll get into that here in a little bit. So 2019 found myself on the dating circuit, had a couple of close calls. I had some close calls with condoms breaking and stuff like that. It was really kind of panicky moment for me. So I finally decided I can't deal with this anymore. There was one chick I dated for a while. I call her Cop Chick, and had that happen. And so I was like, hey, look, I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to get you the morning after pill. And she was offended that I wanted to make sure that she had the morning after pill. And she was like, yeah, I'll take it or whatever. But she, out of principle, didn't want to take it. That is crazy. So anyway, I was like, I have to get this taken care of. So I went and saw my doctor. This was in December 2019, November 2019. Finally decided to go see my doctor, made an appointment for it. And so I'm going to talk about that a little bit. The procedure, it's an outpatient procedure. It's not major surgery. They're not putting you under. It's all just, and it's done in a couple of hours, right? It's relatively easy, but they don't put you under. It's local anesthetic, right? So they take injections and they stick it in your scrotum, all over your scrotum, right? Needles. That hurts like a mother. And then they numb you up. But I could feel it the entire time. I could feel what they were doing the entire time. It was more numb than usual. So it wasn't as excruciating as it could have been, but I could feel the incision. It wasn't super painful. But him pulling on the vas deferens to get it out, to cut it, to cauterize it, to suture it up, because they tie it at both ends. That's how they do it. I could feel all that shit. And it felt like them pulling on the tubes. It felt like they were pulling my stomach out through my scrotum. You can feel that shit, right? It was very uncomfortable. And I think the process took about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. And so the whole time I'm just in this super sort of painful, uncomfortable position, just death gripping, the operating table I was laying on. Yeah, it was not fun at all. But yeah, death gripping, just trying to ignore that pain. You know what I mean? Have you guys ever experienced pain so bad that there's nothing you could do about it? So you just find a focal point on the wall and just stare at it and just try to focus on that and really just, grit through it. That's how it felt. All right. Now you might be saying that sounds like a shitty doctor. Probably. You might have your experience might vary. If you guys have had it in the comments, let me know what your experience was like. Was it painful like that, or was it smooth sailing? Didn't feel anything until the next day? Because I felt it. And I even told the doctor too. I was like, I could feel this, this hurts. And so he's like, oh, okay. And then he, put more injections in, numbed it up a little bit more, but it was not enough. It was not enough. So, funny thing is though, I'm in there and his assistant, his like nurse or whatever, was in the room doing charting or whatever, like while he's working on my scrotum. My nuts are out to the world, and this like hot nurse is just sitting in there, and she's just like chatting with me. She's like, "Hey, so yeah, like where you live around here?" And I'm like, "Lady, my nuts are cut open like right here. Like you just want to chat right now?" Nurses, am I right? And then the doctor, he's like, "Hey, do you mind if I put on some music? It really helps me." And I'm like, "I don't care. I don't care, man. Like this hurts. I don't give a shit." So he was putting on like heavy metal music. Like he's sitting there like rocking out to Metallica, like working on my nuts. Like good times, good times. So after it was done, he's just like, "Okay, here, this is what you need to do to take care of it." Basically, it was like a couple of weeks of just constantly icing my marbles down, sitting on bags of peas, they say, but I recommend don't sit on bags of peas, go get an actual ice pack. But you're literally sitting on an ice pack, icing your marbles down for several weeks. But I drove home that day. I didn't have anyone to go with me. I didn't want anybody there. I didn't tell my parents I was doing it, which was funny. I just went down and took care of it and drove home. And I remember like I wasn't gonna talk about it to my parents because it's none of their business. But I remember like the next morning, I get a call from my parents like, "Hey, can you help us lift this really heavy stuff? Like we got this stuff, And I'm like, "Fuck." I go, "I can't help you with that. I just had surgery." My mom's like, "What? Why didn't you tell me? I could have been there for you. I could have driven you." I'm like, "Mom, you are the last person I want to go with me to while I'm getting vasectomy surgery. Get the fuck out of here." Yeah, my mom's a nurse too, so that's where that goes. Where I was like, "Mom, no, what? Get the fuck out of here." Anyway, so drove home, had to ice my marbles. There was also no sex for several weeks. Oh, hey, before I get too far ahead here, guys, be sure to like, subscribe, hit those notifications if you haven't done so already, and sound off in the super chat. Don't be quiet. So sound off in the super chat. Sound off in the live chat, but send a super chat. There we go. It's still too early. I need some more caffeine. No sex for a few weeks. That's a problem. First time I had sex though, it was gross. It's gross, man. There was a little bit of blood in that ejaculate. It's pretty nasty. Still a little bit of blood in there. And then you also have to provide sperm samples to your doctor for a couple months. Like it doesn't just, it's not immediate. You get the procedure done. There's still live sperm like in your tubes on the other side. Like, so they cut the tubes and they tie them off. Tubes on the other side are still there, or tubes, sperm on the other side are still there. So you still could get someone pregnant like right after that surgery. So you have to be very careful with that. And it wasn't until I think like 2 months before the doctor finally said, "Yeah, you're fully sterile, my brother." All right. We talked about this a little bit. My man asked about the feminist shit tests. So should this be used as birth control if you eventually want to have kids? I'm going to say no. Don't do it. Don't do it. If you haven't had kids yet and you want to have kids someday, don't go through this. You don't want this. They gave me an information pack when I asked about it and when I was first doing my initial consultation for it. And they have the information packet that they gave me said, yeah, while it's, technically you can get these reversed, it's not 100%. It's not guaranteed. So if you haven't had kids yet and you're thinking about doing this as a form of birth control, there's the possibility that you'll never have kids again. So I wouldn't do that. If you truly do want to have kids someday, like don't this isn't birth control. This is meant to be a permanent solution. But it can be reversed. According to Arizona Urology, if your vasectomy was within 10 years, there's a 95% success rate in reversing it. So you could do that. But just think about it though. Like I was just explaining like how painful it was to get it done. Can you imagine how painful it would be to get it reversed? You know what I mean? Like it's gonna suck to have to get it reversed. Just wear a condom. Just wear a condom, guys. If it was more than 15 years ago, the success rate drops to between 30 and 70%. Like 30% is pretty low, right? 70% you might be like, okay, yeah, I'm willing to gamble with that. But can you imagine like you're 18 and you're like, yeah, I'm afraid these women are going to baby trap me or whatever. So you go out and you want to get a vasectomy at 18. And then like you're not ready to have kids until your 30s. Like you're already past this marker, you know? You could be potentially past the 15-year marker by the time you have kids, or by the time you decide you want to have kids, and it might be too late. Yeah. Rudy asks, did you have to go through a screening process before they schedule your procedure? I mean, it wasn't so much of a screening process. It was more of like, you have to go and meet with the doctor, and they just really want to understand why you're doing it. Right. Like they're like, okay, have you had kids already? Okay. Does your wife know or whatever? It's like, but like, so I was like, I'm single. I already have 2 kids. So it was a very quick meeting, and they're like, okay, yeah, sounds like it would be good for you to do it, but yeah, it's really just a consultation. If you're like 18 going to the doctor for this, I would be very surprised if the doctor would agree to do it. Most doctors, I think if you haven't had kids yet, they're not going to do it. If you're married and you haven't talked to your wife about it yet, like most doctors won't do it, So because we don't get a choice, guys, we don't get it. It's not our body, our choice. So yeah, anyway, so 30 to 70% if it was more than 15 years ago. So you might like those odds, but I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it. Just wear a condom. You know what I mean? Just be safe out there. You're gonna be fine. Nine times out of 10. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's really not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. And that's where they give me the packet saying, "Hey, hopefully you're not doing this as like some kind of form of birth control, because it's not guaranteed. Like the reversal process isn't guaranteed. It's not 100% success rate." So, oh man, this really is going to be a short episode today, guys. This really is going to be a short episode. So overall, do I recommend it, and would I do it again? Yes. I do recommend it to guys who have already had kids and that they don't want anymore. Absolutely. I think it is like the smartest thing a guy can do, especially if he's out spinning plates. He's had kids, been through a divorce. He's out spinning plates now, living his best life. Because then you just don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about getting some rando chick pregnant and then having to pay child support for another 18 years and starting all over again with the diapers and stuff like that. I couldn't do it. My man Rudy here just had a son, so I can see why he's finally doing it, getting that snip. He's starting all over again. Waking up in the middle of the night, he's like, 2 a.m. Really, baby? Really? I'm not doing this shit again. Hell yeah. Yeah, I couldn't do it all over again. So yeah, I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. You already have your kids. Go live your life. Go have fun, man. Go have your fun. If you're still spinning plates, I'd still recommend wearing condoms, because you don't want to catch something. You know what I mean? But you at least don't have to worry about this sexually transmitted disease. Kids are sexually transmitted diseases. You are at least stuck with that disease for at least 18 years. So I don't know. Some of these can be cleared up in a couple of weeks with penicillin, but not kids. Not kids, man. So yeah, if you've already had kids, I highly recommend it. Would I do it again? Absolutely. I would absolutely do it again. Yeah, I mean, it did suck. The procedure was painful. But for me, the peace of mind that it gives it's totally worth it. It's totally worth the hour and a half or so of discomfort that I went through. Like I would totally go through it again. And funny enough, the doctor that performed the surgery goes to my gym. Cause for you guys that watch the show, you guys know I live in a small town. So the doctor, I see him periodically at the gym. And whenever I see him in there, I just sort of chuckle to myself and I'm like, that guy played with my balls. I'm terrible. Man, didn't even make it a half hour. And I already got through everything I was going to talk about. There's really not much to this topic. If you guys don't have any questions or super chats, I'm going to probably wrap up here. I did have a guy, I think it was Dante, if I remember right, that asked me to do an episode on this. I'm like, sure. When people ask me to do episodes though, sometimes I question it because I'm like, what can I say about that and draw it out for at least 30 minutes? How can I make this very simple topic into something more of a broader discussion? I don't know. You thought I lived in Houston? Nah, man, I live in Western Colorado. Someone asked me about that because I posted something about how I took Nurse Chick on a date in Montrose, and I'm guessing there's a Montrose, Texas, because someone's like, "Oh, are you down in Texas?" I'm like, "No, I'm in Colorado." So, all right, guys, that's pretty much all I have on this topic today. Very short episode. Tune in tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time for Rule Zero. I believe Rollo is hosting it this week. And I think we're going to be doing it on all the haters in the red pill space, mainly because there are a ton of attack videos over the last week and a half. There's a ton of attack videos against Rollo for the last week and a half, and I think that's what we're going to talk about is all the haters in the space. The manosphere. It's like high school. It's like high school, man. It's kind of funny. I get a kick out of it. Other than that, tune in Monday morning. My guest Monday, guys, you are really going to like this. He's the CEO of a new dating app that's video-based. It's an all video-based dating app. So think TikTok, but geared specifically for dating, which is awesome because, one of the biggest problems with dating apps is guys suck at having their pictures taken, for one. And two, everyone gets catfished, right? And it's going to be a lot harder for some of these women to hide behind their camera and Snapchat filters, the dumbass dog Snapchat filters, when it's a video. You can actually see, facial expressions and body language. I'm sure the heavy set women are still going to have their cameras right up to their grill, but still, you can actually see people's facial expressions. You can see their body language. You can hear their tone and their voice. And then there's also another cool feature where it's called Pitch Your Friend, where you send a link to your friend, and your friend can record a short video about what a great guy you are. And you can include that in your profile. So you have instant social proof. It's kind of a fascinating concept, actually. The app is called Heartstring. And if you guys are just tired of the current dating app market, because all the new dating apps that come out, they're all the same. They're all basically the same. This is the only one that I've seen that is trying to be different and to actually solve a problem. So check that out on Monday. The CEO of that, he goes by LMP. He's a really cool dude. So you'll like that conversation. Yeah, no super chat. So be sure to subscribe, hit those notifications. If you guys are watching on the replay, drop a comment below. Any comment will do. Drop your favorite emoji. Follow me on social media. I'm on all the good platforms. The links are in the description. Get on the Patreon, patreon.com/comeonmanpod. You can join for as little as $10. And if you want any kind of coaching or whatever, I handle that all through the Patreon as well in tiers 2 or tiers 3, depending on what your needs are. In future episodes, send a super chat, guys. Don't be stingy. Get on the email list.comeonmanpod.com, and I will send you some free stickers. That way, if I ever get deplatformed or whatever, I can contact you and let you know how to follow me. And then if you like these designs, you can get them on mugs as well. That's down below, or you can go to merch.comeonmanpod.com. And finally, check out my practical law of attraction course, loa.comeonmanpod.com, and get your mindset right. That's it, guys. Short episode today. We will see you guys next week on Monday.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. Now, go out and get it.